Welcome students to your information technology and its application in business class. In today's class, we are going to continue with Unit 1, that is Information Technology and Business. The topic for today's class is Types of Information System. Under this types of information system, today we are going to learn about another important type of information system, that is Knowledge Management System or KMS. So let us begin. First see what this Knowledge Management System or KMS means. A knowledge management system refers to any kind of information technology system that stores and retrieves knowledge, improves collaboration, locates knowledge sources, mines repositories for hidden knowledge, captures and uses knowledge, or in some other way enhances the knowledge management process. A knowledge management system is a tool used by companies to help to organize the documentation, frequently asked questions to be managed, and other information into easily accessible formats for both internal and external customers. So, in other words, this usage of knowledge management, which will include the usage of information technology system, and of course that will include the usage of hardwares and softwares that will help to keep the documentation up to date, assist the customers in finding their own answers, and manage knowledge across the system and the permissions across the user groups. And it's really a very good tool that's valuable to both the small businesses that are that are just starting out, and the global enterprises also that need to distribute the knowledge to a wide variety of audiences. Right? So in brief, we can say that knowledge management system, it's the managing the knowledge and storing it for its various requirements. Right? So this is what the knowledge management system is about. Next, let us see the characteristics or the features that this knowledge management system bears. First, a systematic process. Now, knowledge management system, it provides with a systematic process consisting of standardized procedures to collect, store, distribute and use the knowledge. And the essence of it is to get the right knowledge to the right people at the right time. Right? Now, before we proceed further, two important things you have to know or you should know about knowledge. That is, there are two types of knowledge which will be required. One is explicit knowledge, another one is implicit knowledge. First, explicit knowledge. What it is? Explicit knowledge is visible information available in the form of literatures, reports, patents, technical specifications, communication with the customers, suppliers, competitors, etc. And this particular type of knowledge can be embedded in the rules, system, procedures, policies of any organization. Means the knowledge in recorded form will be termed as explicit knowledge. Right? Next, implicit knowledge. Now, another name for implicit knowledge is tacit knowledge. Now, this tacit knowledge or implicit knowledge, what it is? It is the personal knowledge residing in the minds of the people as a result of their personal beliefs, values, perspectives and experiences. Now, these types of knowledge, this tacit knowledge or this implicit knowledge, you won't get it in recorded form. Means they are residing within an individual in the form of beliefs, values, right? So those implicit or tacit knowledge, when gets recorded, becomes explicit knowledge, right? So that's why saying there is a need for a learning organization for enhancement, sharing and utilization of tacit knowledge. So explicit knowledge, it is visible, it can be recorded. The recorded knowledge is called the explicit knowledge, and the knowledge which is within an individual in the form of experiences, values, beliefs, perspectives, that is called implicit knowledge, right? So these two things you have to remember. Now let us come back to the features again. Next feature is the continuous process. The knowledge management system is a continuous process as the world economy is dynamic and full of challenges, and that's why it requires constant creation of new skills and capabilities, and for also for the improvement of the existing ones, right? Next, full support from the part of the top management, right? In order to provide cultural and technical foundation for any for the origination and implementation of knowledge management practices, this knowledge management system requires wholehearted support from the top management, right? Next feature, improvement of the organizational performance. Now this knowledge management system, it helps in the improvement of the organizational performance to enable the organization acquire, sharpen and utilize its competitive edge for their survival and growth in the competitive global economy in current scenario, right? So these are some of the features or the characteristics that knowledge management system bears, right? Next we come to the steps or the process of knowledge management system, right? Let us start. First, identification of knowledge needs. Now, before you implement your KMS or knowledge management system, an organization must identify its requirement for knowledge. Right, so that's why it's saying the first step in knowledge management is in the identification of what type of knowledge is required for the successful designing and implementation of the corporate strategy. First, you have to decide what sort of knowledge will be required, right? Next step or next process, determination of knowledge assets. Now what are these knowledge assets? These are basically the competitors, suppliers, government agencies, products, technologies and many other things from which the knowledge can be acquired. So those are called the knowledge assets. Now here the management of the organization must identify what are the knowledge assets of the organization. And for that the management must plan to get the maximum returns out of its knowledge assets, right? So this is the second step or process. The next process or next step includes generation of the knowledge. Now generating the knowledge, it will require two sources. First, acquisition of knowledge through the knowledge assets. Now in our second step we have determined the knowledge assets. In our third step part A, what it is saying, acquisition of knowledge through those knowledge assets. For example, knowledge about the new products from the competitors, new technologies, economical, social, political changes. And it also requires transformation of the raw information, that is data, into knowledge which will be helpful or useful to solve the business problem. Now in this third process, the part B is generation of the knowledge by creating conditions for the emergence of a learning organization. Right? Now here this is the most important internal source of knowledge generation, which makes tacit knowledge, that is implicit knowledge of individuals available for the organizational purposes. Right? So this is the third step or process. Next, knowledge storage. After you have generated your knowledge, you have to store it in knowledge repository. So what is a knowledge repository? Knowledge repository, it's an online computer based storehouse of organized information about a particular domain of knowledge. Right? So knowledge storage, it includes what? Preserving the existing and acquired knowledge in the knowledge repositories. Right? Next step, knowledge distribution. What is this? It is the process which allows the members of the organization to have an access to the collective knowledge of the organization. Right? Here the knowledge has to be distributed as per the requirement of the members. And the last step is knowledge utilization, which requires the embedding of knowledge in the products, processes, procedures of the organization. And the best utilization of knowledge takes place when the managers utilize the knowledge in organizational decision making. And the learning organization creates conditions for sharing and utilization of knowledge in the organizational context. Right? So these are the process or the steps under knowledge management system. Right? Next, we are coming to the elements of the knowledge management system. Here we are going to study 7 types of elements under knowledge management system. First is the strategy. A knowledge management system should be a part of a strategy that identifies the key needs and issues within the organization and provide a framework for addressing the same. So first element is the strategy to be developed. Number 2, actors. Actors here we mean the people. Right? So people are the central to any knowledge management system, and there are different participants with the differing backgrounds and experiences. Right? So second element, we require the people or the actors. Third, the infrastructure. Right? So most of the knowledge management systems will require some form of the infrastructure to enable the system to function, like the facilities, the equipment, the repositories. Right? So next, number 4, functionality. Now, knowledge management systems are developed to support and enhance the knowledge intensive processes, the tasks or projects such as acquisition, creation, then identification, then utilization, distribution, including the application of knowledge. Right? Number 5, fifth element is delivery, that is distribution. Any knowledge management system requires the delivery or facilitation of knowledge or a knowledge management service. Right? Next, content. Now, some of the knowledge management system will hold content to enable the system to function, means the data, the raw information will be required by the system, by the knowledge management system in order to process it and store it for further utilization. And number 7, continuous improvement. Now you have established the system, you have run it, then you have left it. No. Another important area for each and every system, that there should be the area of continuous improvement and maintenance. Right? So a knowledge management system also should be regularly reviewed to ensure that it is meeting the objectives that have been identified in the strategy and the requirements of the organization. Right? So these are the 7 basic elements of a knowledge management system. Next, let us see the advantages or the benefits that a knowledge management system provides, like creating better products and services, developing better strategies, improving the profitability, reusing existing skills and expertise, increase the operational efficiency and staff productivity, recognizing the market trends early and gain an competitive advantage over the competitors, then benchmark against your competitors and making the most of the collective intellectual capital available as and when required. Right? So these are a couple of benefits, the advantages that can be accrued from any knowledge management system. Now, apart from this, the important thing about this knowledge management system, it also suffers or it also faces certain challenges. Right? So let us see some of the challenges faced by any knowledge management system. Right? First is the security area. Accommodating the right level of security for knowledge management system is a key area. Conscious information should be shielded from most users while allowing easy access to those with proper credentials. Means access restriction is a major challenge. Right? Next, motivating the people. Now, overpowering the organizational culture challenges and developing a culture that embraces learning, sharing, changing, improvement, continuous improvement is essential for knowledge management system to succeed. Right? You have to remain or you have to keep the system continuously updated. Regulating how knowledge should be dispensed, transferring it quickly and effectively is a huge challenge. Constantly changing the structures mean learning how to be smart, quick, agile means agile and responsive. And all things a knowledge management tool must be able to finish. Right? So it must be adaptable. Adaptability with the changing requirements is a major challenge. But apart from this, measuring knowledge, managing the knowledge or the quantification of knowledge is very tough. Because knowledge is something that can be easily, that cannot be easily quantified. And it's very complex because it is copied out of the human relationships and experiences. So the focus should be on the distributed purpose rather than the results or efforts. Right? Next, overpowering shared relationship. Now, as a leader, to be specific, a knowledge leader, the concerned person has the responsibility to collaborate with the fellow colleagues, persuade them to share their knowledge base for the benefit of the organization, which is a very difficult task. People won't come out of their own, not all, but some of them may not come out of their own and share their knowledge. This is another challenge. And keeping accurate data. It is also the basic function to keep basic data which is accurate and authentic in nature. Because if you provide the system with wrong data, it will give you the wrong output and the wrong output will be stored in the knowledge base. So these things have to be kept in mind while implementing a knowledge management system into the infrastructure. Right? So in today's class, we have learned about another important type of information system, that is knowledge management system or KMS. We have learned what it is, we have seen its characteristics or features, we have seen the important steps including two types of knowledges, or then we have seen seven important elements of knowledge management systems, its benefits and the challenges that are faced by a knowledge management system. Right? So With this, we are concluding our class over here. We are going to continue in our next class. Thank you.